Okay, so let's go. Lesson number 1. Now, it's with sweeping, you know, I almost could teach you sweeping in like 30 seconds. You could say it as simple as, you know, the basic of this technique is that instead of playing strumming like this, you're doing a strum but one note, right? Same note, right? So that's the technique, you know, that's what sweeping is. But we're gonna talk a little bit about the mechanics of this that you may not be aware. Of course, the obvious part is the left-right hand coordination. To play this, but with one and one note, you need to let go of the note before. That's, you know, that's the thing. And that coordination at first is the tricky part, right? It's almost like if you've played pool sometimes. What the great players say in pool is that it's not aiming. The aiming, that's not the hard part. You know, aiming for the cue ball or the ball. The hard part is knowing exactly how much force to use, so that once you hit, the ball bounces and places itself exactly where you want for the next stroke. You know, so that's the same thing with sweeping. It's not the aim. It's the aim, but it's knowing exactly how much force to use to get the tempo that you want, right? And that just takes time. That's hard. And to time that first, just to time it between the left and right hand, and then eventually the next step to time it with the beat in the music. You know, that's even a lot harder. In this first section here, we're not gonna concern ourselves with time at all. We're just gonna concern ourselves with right and left hand coordination. If you look at example number 1, which is a 4-string sweep like this. So it's a nice major 7 arpeggio, but it's also nice because you're playing all the 4 fingers straight after one another. 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's nice and tidy. So what I want to talk about now is something called rest strokes, and that's basically starting on this first note here. A rest stroke means that I'm picking the string, and if you look at the pick, it's resting on the next string. Same thing here. It's resting. It's playing on the third string, and then resting on the second. Obviously, the first one we don't have anything to rest on. So there's different hand angles. I mean, everybody's hands are different, and so what I'm teaching you now, you may need to kind of adapt it to your hands and see how they fit. I mean, maybe you're holding the pick a different angle, maybe you're using different fingers. There's so many ways to do it, but for the most of you, this is going to be pretty relevant. So there's a difference between playing. If you're playing a rest stroke, the way to do that is that you're kind of playing into the guitar instead of just playing sideways like this, okay? So if you look at my right hand now, I'm playing sideways like this. If I'm playing a rest stroke, I'm gonna tilt it a little bit and play in and out of the guitar. So I'm playing in with the downstroke and then out of the guitar with the upstroke. Okay? So that for me doing sweeping, I'm gonna have that kind of an angle on the right hand. can try this yourself on the guitar and just experiment with playing in and out compared to just sideways. It sounds different too, probably. For kind of fast alternate picking stuff, it's pretty common to play just sideways. Compared to, you know, many players play pretty exclusively in and out of the guitar, and it's you know, and that's what fits your hand too. But what I'm getting at is that if you're playing into the guitar like this, when you turn around and sweep the other way, you have to kind of do it the opposite. So the upstrokes is going into the guitar. I'm exaggerating now, but so you'll see that when I'm sweeping down, the right hand is at one angle, and when I'm sweeping up, it's at a different angle. You can see it kind of turns back and forth like this, compared to if I held it, try to keep it kind of the same. For me, that's not really working that well. I think for some maybe it works, but you know, again, this is so individual. But I would suggest you try to do it this way, that you kind of angle it one way when you're going down, and then the opposite when you're going up. And why am I talking about rest stroke? The thing is, when you're playing a down sweep like this, it's not rest stroke, because all those 4 attacks is one stroke, right? The thing is, depending on the tempo that you play in, if you're playing slow, for example like that, it's about as fast as I'm gonna play with 4 separate attacks. This is 4 separate attacks, right? Faster than that, it's starting to be just one stroke. But up until a certain tempo, you can kind of control each individual stroke, and then each individual stroke is going to be a rest stroke, resting on the next string. This is even more, I think, obvious when you play scales. When you play kind of economy picking and scales, you'll see that for each string that you're passing, you'll see that you're playing a rest stroke. Up until a certain tempo. When you're playing really fast, then it goes from being rest strokes to being a sweep stroke. Okay, and that's, you know, the thing I talked about with the pool playing, that you need to control exactly how much velocity to put into each stroke. So yeah, I think, you know, I think that's as detailed as I can explain kind of the right hand angles and the right hand, how you actually attack the strings. And then when it comes to muting, you need to time it so that exactly when you hit the next string, you're lifting up with the left hand the note that you played before. So, and I'm playing with a bit of overdrive now, because that makes it even more obvious if I'm not playing clean. Okay, if you hear 2 notes at the same time, it's gonna sound dirty. That's not what we want. We want to have, okay. So that's the first bar, is ascending. Second one, descending, and then the third bar is ascending, hammer on, pull off. So we're not gonna pick on the way up on this E string, we're going straight to the second string, up, up, up. Okay. Eventually we're gonna pick more on the top string to lock in more firmly with the beat, but for now this is the easiest way to kind of, for you to experience this, you know, the speed that you can play sweeping with. So that's the first lesson. Yeah, I think that's it. Just you know, go ahead and practice that in different not tempos but different speeds, and see how it goes. And we'll continue with lesson number 2 after that.